in the play-in tournament, Grizzlies and Warriors. And that meant Steph Curry, some hardware on the night for Steph. We'll explain. Warriors down 4. Curry keeps the dribble alive. Dribbles by Brandon Clark. Stop me if you've seen that before. Beautiful floater with the basket. Curry clinches his second scoring title, joining Michael Jordan as the only players 33 or older to do so. To the third, Dylan Brooks trying to hang on to Steph. And I mean trying to hang on to him. Limiting him just 2 points on 1 of 7 shooting. Curry, though, would figure it out through the third. Seeing the separation, hits the deep three, and then Curry going to lose Brooks. Backdoor cut. Steph would not be done yet. Just over 2 minutes later, Curry, 3 off the catch and shoot. Way out. Curry would finish with 17 in the third quarter. He's hopping. 17th time Curry has scored 15 or more in the third quarter this season. After trailing by as many as 17 in the fourth, Brooks would bring the Grizzlies right back and won, and that would tie the game. Pumped. Brooks' excitement, though, would be short-lived. Foul down on the next possession. I heard Doris and Jonesy talking about that. Can't foul out in that spot. Brooks had 13 of his 18 in the fourth. Curry took over the game from there, coming off the screen. Steph gives it up to Draymond. Gets it back, up the give and go. Getting the crowd fired up. Next Warriors possession. Curry's guarded well. Step back. Little Harden game for you there. Hits his third 3 in less than 2 minutes. And he'll let everybody know about it. Vintage Curry with a vintage Warriors celebration. Here is Steph on that particular moment.
Shout out to Baron Davis. I definitely channeled my Karolinko moment. I ain't dunk on nobody, but I wanted to channel the same celebration. So shout out to BD.
And Baron noticed and jumped on Twitter after the moment to share his appreciation. And afterwards, Curry posted a video of his son Cannon on Instagram. Him too. We're all doing it. I'm taking my shirt off in the studio right now. It's a good thing you can't see that. Curry would finish with 46 points, 7 rebounds. Warriors clinch the 8 seed. More from Steph.
As crazy as it sounds, I wish I shot the ball a little bit better because I had a lot of good looks all night. But, we were in sync. Guys were setting great screens for me, and just kept pounding the pavement for the entire game, and things started to loosen up.
Look out.
Woo! That's a good one right there.
It's an art, and, he's like the Picasso of our time. Like, he really just doing his thing, and you can't do nothing but love him. I grew up a Warriors fan. We sucked for years. Like, everybody wants to watch the Warriors now. Yeah, everybody wants to come to Warriors game. He's the price of admission is well worth it.
The Warriors won 15 of their final 20, a span that started on April 10th. Only the Knicks had a better record over that time. Steph averaged 37 points per game over that stretch, 5 more than Bradley Beal to pass him for the scoring title. And the Warriors passed the Grizzlies and Spurs in the standings. They'll be the 8th seed in the play-in tournament. So right now,
Book went for 70. And we saw in the bubble last year what Devin Booker can do. The point is, let's just boil it down, Perk. How many of those dudes do you have, the special players? Wiggins is a nice player. He made real strides this year. I'm not disagreeing with you. The Suns got 2. The Warriors got 1. The Suns got 2 guys in Chris Paul and Devin Booker who can kill you.
Who are the Warriors knocking off? Perk, I need this from you. Who are the Warriors going to knock off a 7-game series? Talk to me. Give me teams.
I mean, they can knock off either one of them. They can knock off the Utah Jazz. They just beat them. We don't know when Donovan Mitchell or Mike Conley is coming back, right? We haven't had an update on that.
Okay, so Utah.
Max, that was mine. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But my blood pressure went up. Max, you're talking about, Steph Curry never had 70 and Devin Booker did. Right, he did have it in the regular season, but tell me when Devin Booker didn't ever played in the playoffs and had a 40-piece. He never been. Never been.
Just give it a couple
Devin
weeks.
Booker when it mattered the most.
Give it a couple weeks.
We know what Steph Curry could do when it mattered the most.
Give it a couple weeks. By the way, my point was not that Devin Booker has proven himself in the playoffs more than Steph Curry.
Although
What was your
Steph
point?
Curry,
Why even
although Steph Curry choked in plenty of finals before this last one against Toronto, where he played very well. He had never been as good as he was in the regular season in the finals, ever in his career, until the Toronto series, which, by the way, they lost. Let's be honest. I'm not trying to argue Devin Booker's more proven than Steph. I just want to point out, when you're talking about Steph Curry is capable of doing all these things, Devin Booker in an NBA game scored 70. This dude is unstoppable offensively, and Chris Paul is in the MVP conversation.
Max, you know what? This is the problem that I have with you, all right? when you go back to switching the narrative and moving the goalposts to make your point, all right, because you the main one that always come on here talking about how regular season stuff don't matter to you, and it only matters the most when it's in the postseason. Right. That's why you discredit James Harden so much. You remember those arguments? Always downplaying James Harden. Oh, that's not impressive because when it matters the most, he disappeared. And now you about to sit up here and tell me about Steph Curry, a guy who probably have some of the best moments in playoff history outside of LeBron James
not
and Kawhi
finals
Leonard
history.
in this modern day. Max, you have to get to the finals. People forget about that first, second, and third round, and you just want to hold the finals against Steph. Think about what the Warriors had to do to get to the finals. Think about those
Steph's one of the greatest players of all time. No one's saying anything else, but you were trying to pretend that in the finals in the past, Steph, I'll say it again, until the Toronto series where he hit big shots, Steph had never been his regular self.
You're forgetting the biggest point. Don't you remember he wanted Iggy to take the last shot, not Steph? Remember that?
Yeah,
that was this Max Kellerman who wanted Iggy, not Steph.
By the way, and with the fate of the universe on the line, I wasn't wrong then. Iguodala had ice water in his veins. Steph choked in the finals. Steph was the point guard. And Steph was the conductor of the greatest half-court offense in the history of basketball. They were at home, Game 7, fourth quarter, 4 minutes and 22 seconds went by. They didn't score a point, a single point.
Yeah,
Let me tell you why he was wrong, okay? I had front row seats to that game because I was in that series because I was on the Cleveland Cavaliers. I was averaging 3,000 claps per game, warming the bench up. And our game plan was to make Iguodala beat us. We put all the attention on Steph Curry, and we said that we're not going to even challenge. We totally disrespected Andre Iguodala. He had pregame warm-up shots. He better knock him down. He's a professional. He had wide-open shots. But, man, stop.
Hold on. Don't try and twist what I said. Don't try and twist what I said. I was very clear. I was very clear when I said it. I'm not talking about who is more dangerous, who's going to get their own shot. I'm saying an open look at the basket.
Andre Iguodala should take last shot, not Steph Curry. I'm reading the headline right now for you. So I have it right here.
No, but I said open look at the basket.
They didn't put that in the headline. They misquoted you.
So, open look at the basket because I saw Steph Curry choke.
But when you look at what's transpiring this year, and you look from an offensive perspective of what Steph Curry has around him and what he's doing, averaging 31, 6, and 5 on 43% shooting from three-point range. And this is like before April, he had a little stretch there where he was struggling with some three-point outputs or whatever. This dude is the elite marksman in the history of basketball, the greatest shooter we have ever seen, the greatest shooter that God ever created. I'm telling you, this is what he is, and everybody knows it, and it's no longer a deniable issue. Now, I don't have him as my league MVP, but my apologies to him. He definitely needs to be included in the conversation. He's not a top 2, might not even be a top 3 candidate for league MVP honors because the Golden State Warriors are an average team. But when I look at his greatness, it speaks for itself. And when you look at it in terms of his performance this year, the greatness that we're witnessing without Klay Thompson is what really stands out in my mind. Those other performances, as great as he was in the past, Klay Thompson was on the court with him. Klay Thompson's not there this year. You know he's the lone option offensively for the Golden State Warriors, and you still can't stop him.
Yeah, let's get Max in.
No, as great as Steph Curry is right now,
and he is in the MVP conversation undeniably. He just put himself there. He's forced himself there. Look, before the season, I thought Luka was going to win MVP. I thought Steph would be way up there because he has to carry more load, because there is no Klay Thompson, because of course he's going to shoot it more. Who else is going to shoot it on that team? So I'm not impressed beyond where I thought I would be, except when your eyes are on Steph Curry, you go, oh my God, how can something be better than this? In 2015-16, when they won 73 games, Stephen A., it was even better. I mean, it's virtually the same player, right? But that's the thing. He was the same player back then. I mean, his game has evolved a little short. He stole the ball more frequently then. I looked up the stats. They're almost identical, but he had twice as many steals. But he does some things now with more, listen, he's more experienced now. But the difference is he was doing that in a league that wasn't ready. It's one of the reasons they won 73 games before KD. 73 games. And I know you watch it now, you go, oh my God, he just dropped 47. He dropped it. He was dropping, he had multiple 50-point games, 51, 50, 50-something. He had tons of 40-point games that year. It's easy to forget when your eyes aren't on him that year what he was doing then, but he was doing it in a league where no one else was. That has even more value. Now you have Damian Lillard. Oh, look at that. I could shoot from way out there. Let me try this. You have Trae Young. You have other guys where Steph has shown the way, and now they're doing it too, making it still incredible, but not the same kind of impact it had back then. Of course, they had Klay then, Iguodala, Draymond Green was shooting better. Stephen A., all that stuff is true, and that contributed, obviously, mightily to those 73 wins. But my God, what Steph was doing back then, there was a reason he was MVP, and we all said, yeah, he's MVP. Look, right now, the Portland Trailblazers record isn't amazing. The Nuggets record isn't amazing, and we're looking at Jokic and Damian Lillard, and Steph is in that category. Back then, it was Steph Curry as MVP, retire the prize.
Well, I disagree. Like I said, you can point to the greatness of Steph Curry, and a lot of people will point to what he did in 2016 particularly. But my point is that when you have a marksman, an elite marksman on a court with you, and that distracts the defense, that plays a role in what you're capable of doing. It's almost like if you go on the court with LeBron James, you're going to be better because LeBron James is elite and attracts such a clear amount of attention that it's going to make things easier for the people around him. Steph Curry had Klay back in the past. He doesn't have Klay this year. And when you look at what he's doing anyway, you just have to marvel at it. And his conditioning, his movement without the basketball, it's just something special to behold. The ball handling skills, the jump shooting, all of that stuff. But, Max, I looked up a stat here I want to throw by you, a few of them. I have in front of me, Max, threes that Steph Curry has hit against each team in the NBA this year, okay? In 2 games against Atlanta, all right, he's hit 18 of 33 threes. All right. In 2 games against Chicago, it's 11 of 29 threes. In 2 games against Cleveland, it's 11 of 24 threes. In 2 games against Dallas and Denver, it's 15 of 29 threes. Against Detroit in 2 games, it's 11 of 17 threes. Against Houston in 2 games, it's 10 of 26 threes. Against the Clippers, it's 11 of 28 threes. Against Miami, it's 10 of 31 threes. Against Minnesota, it's 11 of 23 threes. Against New York, the Knicks, it's 12 of 28 threes in 2 games. Against Orlando, it's 16 of 35 threes. Against Philly, against last night, the only game he played against them this year, it's 10 of 17 threes. Against Damian Lillard in Portland, it's 17 of 42 threes. Against San Antonio in 3 games, it's 14 of 29 threes. Against Utah, it's 11 of 19 threes in 2 games. I mean, my God. I mean, do you understand that if you shoot 35% from three-point range, that's considered decent? Look at the numbers that I threw out to you against a slew of opponents, elite and otherwise. It does not matter. This brother is something
but you know what that adds up to?
As a marksman. Yes.
I put stats up in front of me while you were doing that. You know what that adds up to? It adds up to 12 threes a game, and he's hitting 43%.